Hi, welcome to Voice Notes from my bathroom. I'm your host, Amanda, a sustainable productivity strategist and home educating mum of three. And I help ambitious, overloaded women to ease the mental clutter, lighten the physical load, and spend the time they save on what matters to them. Today, I want to share my single biggest tip for getting focused and actually making the most of the time you have. Because so often, I think we sit down, we've got our work time, and we sit down to try and do it. And blank page, blank screen, or for me, scroll on Instagram, get distracted by something else, go and do something entirely unrelated, have three or four other business ideas, come back and be like, I've done nothing. So I don't do that anymore. This is what I do instead. My biggest tip in a nutshell is to pre-warm your oven. Pre-warm your focus oven. And the reason I use that analogy is because you wouldn't just turn on the oven and put your frozen pizza in the oven and expect it to be done straight away and expect it to cook at an even temperature. That's not a good example because sometimes I do put frozen pizza straight in the oven. You wouldn't do that with a cake because it would mess up the cake. Anyway, it's not a perfect metaphor, okay? What is important is that you're preheating your oven so that your brain is ready to focus when it comes to your focus time. And this is what I mean. So whenever you work during the day or week, whenever you have a chance to do your work, whether that's maybe you've got kids and you drop them off at school and you come back from the school run, that's when you start your work day. Maybe you work straight away first thing and you get up early and do it. Maybe you do it several times throughout the day. I work in the afternoons. I home educate during the day, so I work in the afternoons, late afternoon. Whenever you do that, before that time, you need to have you need to know what you are doing, and you need to have organized your list in such a way that you can sit down and know exactly what you need to do. Now, I'm sure some people are able to sit down with an unorganized list and get focused, but if you can't, try this. So preheating your oven means that before you sit down, earlier on in that day, whenever you have looked at that, so maybe it's the night before, you have looked at your list. Wherever you keep your to-do list is fine for now. You don't need to go setting up a whole new system if you don't have one yet. I have all of mine in Notion. And if you join my program, the Steady Club, you have access to all my Notion templates. So I have all my to-do lists in Notion, which is like a productivity planning tool, organization tool more. And before I sit down to do my work, I make sure that I have not only added tasks to my list throughout the day, I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but that I have gone into my list and I have prioritized and organized. Now, I do have tasks that repeat onto there, depending on the focus for each day of the week, but I also make sure I go in. So, usually at lunchtime for me, I go in and organize and prioritize. This is most important. One, two, three. I then look through if there's anything that needs to come off the list, if there's anything else I want to add on to the list, if there's something I want to bump up to the front of the list. I do that and put it in order so that already my brain is getting used to, okay, that's what we're going to be doing when it's time to work. And that doesn't mean that I'm then thinking about my to-do list like overnight or throughout the whole day. It just means my brain has like a little pre-warm of this is what we're going to be focusing on later. Okay, so it's not a surprise to me when I sit down and I'm like, oh, I have to do something I don't want to do or something I do want to do. Now, one of the best things that I do that helps with this is that I have a shortcut set up on my phone. And because I use Notion, I have a shortcut set up on my phone, and you can actually find a video. I did a reel on this on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can go to amanda.appiaj. If you type amanda.appy, it will come up. There's a pink reel. You can see it says how to add a task or idea to your list in seconds. And I'll drop this in the show notes as well in the description. And if you go there, you can have a look on how to set this up. But essentially, I have a shortcut on my phone, which means I can press one button, like one single tap on my phone. I even have it on my lock screen, so I don't even have to open my phone and get distracted by something. One single button, type in my tasks, and it goes straight to my to-do list on Notion. You can do the same thing with a content board, but that is one of the best things that I have done to stop myself getting distracted throughout the day or whenever. Like I often add tasks at night when I've had ideas before I go to bed, offload my tasks. I don't have to open my Notion board. I just add the tasks there. And then when it comes to organizing, I just make sure before I sit down to do my work, I've organized my list. It doesn't have to take long. It literally takes me a few minutes usually. but I like to have a look through, see if there's anything else to bump up, add on. That is my biggest tip for you. Pre-warm the oven. Make sure you have some kind of idea before you sit down to do your work of what you want to do, what you want to focus on. I promise it makes it so, so much easier. And if this felt like a really simple tip to you, then I'm happy for you. I really am. If you're like, ooh, this could be useful, then please try it out and let me know how it goes. I would love to hear from you. And I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.